Hey, this is Danielle from Black Business Boom and Black Owned Nashville, and I am joined today by our industry expert business strategist who's helping us get our processes and things together for our businesses. And today, Takisha Bromell from Girl Friday Solutions is going to be talking about getting bossed, turning into the CEO. And most importantly, getting your mind right in order
Mhm.
to do that, because it is certainly a mindset shift that has to occur when you talk about working in your business than going to working on your business. So I'm really excited for this conversation today. If you're a small business owner, make sure you tune in and catch these tips from Takisha, who has been helping me tremendously with taking Black Business Boom and Black Owned Nashville to the next level. Hey, Takisha, how are you?
Hi, I'm super excited to be here today. Like it's
Yeah.
been like the last couple of weeks have been kind of like it's been a lot of conversation around me about this
Mhm.
topic. So I'm excited to be here and talk about it a little bit
Yeah, we're
more.
good. Yes, everybody is wanting to be a boss, right? And a lot
Yeah.
of us are using that CEO title, but we're not really operating as CEOs. And I've been more than guilty of this for
We
years
all have. We all
because
have.
and many times it's hard for us to let go. One of the, there are a lot of struggles that we encounter as business owners in getting the right people in place, being able to trust people to
Mhm.
take over our babies,
Mhm.
and being scared that they're not going to do it the way we would do it. So there's so many things that we struggle with. And again, a lot of those are about our mindset and about having the right strategy. So give us some tips, Takesha. Let's jump on in and talk about how you can really become a CEO in your business.
So let me first talk about like I had to go through this process myself. Like earlier this year, I found myself working knee deep in my business, and I wanted to take a couple of weeks off for vacation for my birthday in May. And I was telling my team members, okay, I am taking this time off. We need to get ourselves ready for me not being available. Okay.
Mhm.
And then so I started to train my team members, kind of get them ready for it. I started to move some of my tasks from me to them, which was a process in and of itself. When I went on vacation, okay, so I decided maybe not to take the vacation. They were like, "You're taking the vacation," so I was like, "Okay, all in." My COO, she said to me, "Takesha, you have to burn that bridge. When you come back, what do you want to do? What are the things that you want to do? Because you cannot go back to taking on the task that you just gave us." And that was really good advice that I received from her, was to burn that bridge, to never go back to that. And then I went on vacation. And what did I do? I checked on my baby. I was like, "Are y'all burping the baby right? Are you doing the things that you're supposed to be doing?" And they softly said, "What are you doing? Why are you calling?" Like, I wasn't quite, it's not that I didn't trust them. It's my baby, like what you were just saying.
Mhm.
And so I had to do a little bit of checking in, and they were nice enough to kind of like say, "We're okay," and go and have some fun somewhere, going to the beach or something. And so that was really wonderful. And when I came back such a better person because my mindset started to shift. My mindset started to shift on things that I wanted to see our business do. It started to shift from a perspective of working in the business to working on the business. Like I that the vacation let I have some notes here that I want to make sure that I kind of talk to you about. Like it made my mind breathe. So number one is when you go away and you take a break, and we all need to take a break, it allows your mind to breathe a little bit so that you can come back refreshed and renewed. So number one is, if you want to have a power mindset for moving from the solopreneur lane to the mindset of a small business owner, it is taking time away so that you can think about your business. So when I came back to my business, I came back so much better, but also came back with some ideas. I knew from how the hotel treated me as I was out there that I needed to come back in with I wanted white glove service for my customers. I wanted them to get a gift from us whenever they come on to the company. I wanted them to feel the love, feel the expression of the different things that we're doing. I
Mhm.
wanted them to I wanted our team members to change their thought process about it as well. So
Mhm.
I started training. I started training them on, I had a person come in and train them on how to deliver a Ritz Carlton experience, how to touch our customers, how to touch them on a weekly basis, let them know what ask them questions. What do you need? How can we help you? So that one thing that I said that I wanted to do changed everything. So now that I can work on the business, work with other businesses, I didn't have the capacity to do that until May when I came back from that trip, and then those opportunities came to me. So that would be number one,
That's
is your mind
very
shifting mindset.
important. Yes. Well, sometimes we're just so busy working in our business. We never take a break. And I have my moments of clarity when
Hmm.
I'm relaxing. Like on the
Absolutely.
massage table is when like I start to get clarity on a lot of things. So super important that you take that
Yeah.
risk. And and again, you were kind of forced to delegate
Hmm. Hmm.
out of the need for you to take this vacation. But like you said, now you never go back. Once you start
Never
delegating,
go back. Let me tell you
you
something.
get
When I got on,
spoiled.
I'm telling you. Okay, so one of my old clients, this is like years ago though, they they the reason why I know about the Ritz Carlton is because they were connected with the Ritz Carlton. So when I would travel in to Philly, I would be at the Ritz Carlton. And once you go to the Ritz Carlton, like where are you going to go from there? Like like
Yeah.
there's really not too many places to go from there. They were so accommodating and anticipating your needs. And
Mhm.
that's what I've been training for the past couple months since I've come back. Like we need to anticipate our
Mhm.
clients' needs and what they want, and use active listening. They're telling you that they're overwhelmed. Now, when they tell you, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to say, okay, well, I'll talk to you next week? Or are you going to say, how can we help you? How can Girl Friday help you?
Yeah.
What do we need to do in order to be in place to help you? So we've
Mhm.
been changing our culture because of that. And so that's a great mindset. You have to let your mind breathe.
Yeah.
Number two is, I think that is very important. And this is where I think that we've been talking about recently is working in your highest value. Like you have so many opportunities. Every one of us has so many opportunities that come into play. If you are out there, right, doing some of the paperwork and some of the other things or whatever, how can you really be fresh to entertain your highest value and be in the highest value, which is really going after the work and going after the bigger deals and things like that. So you have to be able to delegate. And so in our next session, next month, we'll talk a little bit more about how to delegate and how to leverage, people and resources and everything. But for this, you just need to know that you own the highest value. The highest value is a place where you're in front of the client, you're working on deals, you're talking to people, and you're trying to get more people into the mix.
Yep. And that absolutely true. And I tell you, if you're
Yeah.
sitting there typing out all the emails and sending, and doing the social media content and trying to do the QuickBooks, and you have all these tasks that have to get done. And if I had to spend the last few months focused on doing all of those little things, I definitely wouldn't be in a position to close larger deals or focus on even
Mhm.
working on, executing on our larger contracts well. So,
And
fantastic.
what happens is you don't think, I mean, sometimes you feel like you're the best one to do it, but you have to train, and sometimes you don't think that you have the time to do it, like to slow
Mhm.
down and train, but you slow down to speed up, and so
Yes.
you slow down to get that going and then to train so that that task will never actually pretty much have to kind of come across your desk again. That's what you want,
Yeah,
right?
that's
And
exactly what
so
we want.
what you're also doing is building, I call it human capital. People are growing around you. They're learning who you are, but then they're also learning your business so that you're not the only one that knows about your business. Because the again, I think I said this in our initial meeting was or conversation was like I don't want to die with the business not being able to go without me. So succession planning and those kind of things is so important to make sure that you have those things in place. There is the worst thing that you can do, I know I've said this as well, is to do all of those extra hours, that extracurricular activities that you could have been out with your family and friends and you're grinding for you to go and then those things are not translated after you.
Yeah.
Well, that would be the worst thing, to give up all of that time
Out here
and then
grinding
not
for
have
no
anything to
reason.
show for it in the end.
I call it hustling backwards.
Yeah. Yes, that's good.
Yes.
Yes. Mhm.
Fantastic. I love it. I think it's super important. We have to get this stuff, these processes in place. We got to get them documented. We have to train others. We have to trust that when we are gone, whether it's on vacation or a life event happens
Mhm.
or we die, that
Mhm.
there's someone else that's going to be able to jump in and at least make sure that they are able to tie up loose ends with the business. So it may not
Absolutely.
be that the business outlives you and that it keeps on rolling, but at least there's someone's in a position to say, if we're going to shut down, these are the things we need to tie up. These are the clients we need to reach out to
Mhm.
and let them know, these are the processes that we need to do in order to even close our business. So
Mhm.
great points, Keisha.
Yeah, and I was going to say also with that is understanding what your business really is, right? Because on the one side, okay, some people are only going to be solopreneurs or
Mhm.
entrepreneurs or whatever you want to call it. They're gonna do that, and that's what they're going to do. And there are going to be some people who are going to move into the small business. And if you are a solopreneur, entrepreneur, and you understand that this business is going to be larger, then how you value your time is absolutely important. I mean, you could spend a lot of time doing a lot of things that is not in your benefit. So I talk about that when I talk about VA work. I mean, or someone who needs an assistant or whatever. You
Yeah,
definitely want to make sure that you are leveraging your time, and how you leverage your time is understanding that every hour that you spend on something that is lower level work, and it is
yep,
sad to say, but that's what it is. I mean, everyone has a level of work
yep,
that when you do that, that you are actually not making dollars.
yep. Not making the
Yeah.
big moves.
And you want to
Absolutely.
make dollars. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I love it. Fantastic points.
Yeah. And so then the last thing, I guess I'm just going to jump in with the last thing that I had
Let's
here
do
was understanding the white space. White space is the things that are out there that have not been discovered yet. If you are a entrepreneur or a solopreneur and you're wanting to understand small business and get and expand your business is what you're doing. You
it.
want to make sure that you understand that your time is a high value. You also want to make sure that you have the time and space to allow your mind to breathe. And
Mhm.
then the last part of that is your white space, is the new territory. You can't get to the new territory again if your brain is lagging. So you have to be able to see ahead, understand what was behind you. You have to be able to also see from different vantage points and everything. And so you have to make sure that the white space, you're always looking for new territory. It's the unfounded stuff that's out there. It is
I
the
love
things that
it.
you need to go to.
Yes. And I'm telling you, you said that you have to see things from different vantage points.
Mhm.
So important. Sometimes we think we have it all figured out. This is what we're doing. This is how we're going to do it. And then you go and you talk to somebody who's in a totally different industry or in
Mhm.
your industry but been doing a lot longer, or they're a customer of yours or they're a customer of someone else, and they come and they give you a perspective and you're like, oh, I didn't even think about that. This is where I should be
Absolutely.
spending my time,
Yes.
like, and many times when it's happened to me, it's been, this shift from me going after $1,000 client to me going after $100,000 contract,
Mhm.
and it was really the guidance, the advice, the perspective of someone else that was like, maybe you need to go and start to think on a higher level. You're not thinking big enough. You're thinking
Danielle, can I just say
different.
that I have seen that in you? I have
Yeah.
seen when we first met, there was like this certain project that you wanted to work on. And
Hmm.
now I'm looking at 3 or 4 months later and seeing like these other projects that are coming that are so much
Yeah.
high value and what you should be doing. And
Right.
I loved how you were able to transition and pivot into that. So
And
you
it,
had a
it was
conversation with
all
me.
about having conversations with people who
Hmm.
are making a lot more money than me. They were like, you're thinking about your business wrong. You're thinking about
Hmm.
the value that you bring and who you bring it to wrong. Because there are people out there that want what you have, that have the money, and you're
Hmm.
trying to sell to the people who don't. And so
Oh my gosh, that is so
figuring
good,
out
but it's
that
so right.
target,
Yes, yes.
figuring out your
Hmm.
target and having the right
Hmm.
target, so important. But again, it really just comes back to your mindset. And I tell you, someone spoke to me about, where I should have been looking a year ago. But for some reason, I kept getting drugged back to
Hmm.
these low dollar, and I'm like, it took a while and it took a few people
Hmm.
to really be like, you're doing this wrong. You're working too hard.
You're working too
Where
hard
you're
for that
where
dollar.
you need
Yes.
to work
Hmm.
smarter. And that's why I do these sessions with you and why I want to educate our community so bad, because many times we are just working in these businesses. We're killing ourselves. We are working a full-time job trying to run the
Hmm.
business. It, but many times we are willing to work. We are willing to work hard,
Yes.
but we're grinding in the wrong way, and we need a strategy around what we're doing. But before you can get to the strategy, you got to get your mind right. Like
You have
before
to
you
get your
can
mind
even get
right.
to creating the strategy, you have to be mentally ready to do something bigger and to think about and be also willing to think differently about your business. And sometimes
Mhm.
we just get in this box and we're staying in this box. We don't want to
Yes.
do anything different. So it's been, I have to tell everyone, my journey in working with Girl Friday over the last couple months has been amazing in helping me to change my thinking. I will be like, oh, I'll just go ahead and do that. Takisha will be like, no, you don't
Mm-mm,
do that anymore. like,
mm-mm,
and
mm-mm.
she has to check me on it, but not only is she checking me on it, she's providing a solution with how can Girl Friday help you to get these things done. So I'm really excited to have Takisha as part of my team, but also as part of the industry experts team to be able to come to you guys and give you these amazing tips. And I really hope that you need to replay this
Yes.
because these tips, that first one, get some rest, like
Yes.
go somewhere,
There's nothing worse than something stale. I mean,
you,
it's just, and I
you
think that we need
literally
to look at our business
cannot.
like that
Yes.
every month we should be looking at where are we stale? Because like I'm telling you, the 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 manna, as I call it, the things that are out there, they only last a day. You know what I'm saying? And then every day should be like a new thing that you're doing to push yourself. And so you have to kind of like breathe that in. And the only way to breathe it in is to really relax yourself and give yourself time to kind of like breathe in the
Yeah.
new things.
And I think also don't be afraid of that change, because I tell you, we've pivoted probably 8 times in the last year and a half with Black Business
Mhm.
Boom to get to the point where we are, where we know exactly who we are. We know exactly who our target is. We know who we serve. We know
Mhm.
how we serve them. We know how to get funding to serve them. It took a lot of changes and a lot of understanding what the people want for us to get to this point. But sometimes we're just like, no, this is what we do, and
Yeah.
we're scared to
Mhm.
change, and we're scared that people are going to be like, oh, they changing again. And I'm like, keep changing until you get it
Well, let
right.
me tell you something. Okay, we come into business thinking that we know what the market wants. We are the smart
Mhm,
ones,
mhm,
and the
mhm.
market will tell you something totally different. So, what you think is the right way is usually not. And it takes a while for you to get that. And it's hard because you have this one idea and you're going for it, and you probably just have money for half of that idea. Okay. And
If
so
that.
it's that. And so you're going and going and going, and you have to pivot. And there are multiple pivots that are going on as you're moving along. And
Mhm.
sometimes you don't have the money capacity to handle the pivots that have to happen for you to grow
Yeah.
into what you're doing. And so that is hard. It's not easy. I understand it. But on the other side of it is okay, you have to work smarter and not harder. And the way that you do that is through leveraging the resources that are around you that we're going to talk about next time.
Yes.
It's important to leverage what's around you and not feel that you have to do everything. There are ways to get around doing what you need to do.
Absolutely. Give yourself permission to grow. That's
That's absolutely
my
right.
new
Yes.
thing. Give yourself permission to grow. Give yourself permission to rest.
Hmm.
You deserve all of those things.
All of those things.
This was
Hmm.
fantastic,
Yay.
Takisha. Great, great tips for all the entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs tuned in. Next month, we're going to talk about delegating and getting your team
Yes.
together and ways to do that. So I'm excited about that. It's been quite a journey for me in finding the
Hmm.
right team. So
I know.
I'm excited to talk about, some of those challenges you experience in trying to delegate and build a team. But some tips for how to go ahead and do that.
Hmm.
Thank you again, Takisha.
You're
This was
welcome.
amazing. And thanks so much for all of your help. But I appreciate you coming and giving to our community and teaching us some things.
Yeah. Love it. See
Thanks
y'all
for
soon.
tuning in, everyone.